documentaries help us, they will kill us.
This is the true story of the Nigerian factory that would kidnap human beings and chain them up to the wall and would cut body parts off them while they were still alive to keep the meat fresh and sell them for magic spells. Let's get this show on the road. In Nigeria, motorcycle taxi drivers are called Okadas. And in the city of Ibadan, Nigeria, where there are 3.5 million people living, there are a lot of Okadas. In early 2014, when 2 Okadas would go missing and the police weren't really searching for them, the Okada community decided to take the search in their own hands. They searched everything while they were working and doing their fairs. But despite their hard work to search for these 2 Okadas, they couldn't find them. But on March 22nd of that year, a 3rd Abadan Okada would go missing. Lanre Sidiko. I love saying names I can't really say in a cool way. Anyway, this Okada was different. This guy went missing while he was working. The other 2 Okadas went missing when they were at home. Mr. Lanre Sudoku was part of an Okada group that would meet up in a certain location to try to get some fares. And the Okada group remembered him that day, leaving with 2 passengers on his back and never returned. The Okadas got worried, so they started calling Lanre.
You have reached Lanre.
But no answer.
Please leave a message.
And that was real strange for an Okada not to answer his cell phone, because they used it for business. But then, all of a sudden, one Okada would get a phone call. Hello? What? That's you, Lanre? And he would put him on speaker. Speak up, Lanre. We're worried about you, man. And all of a sudden, Lanre would be screaming, I've been kidnapped with 8 other people, and they put us underground in this cell. We hear them walking above us. They took all our belongings, and they took my work phone. They didn't know I had a second cell phone, my personal phone. We need you to come and save us. And they were like, calm down, Lanre, calm down, Lanre. Tell us your location. So finally, Lanre calmed down. So Lanre calmed down, and he told them, I don't know exactly where we are, but they took us into the so-called forest by 2 burned out cars. And if you keep going straight, you'll hear us screaming. So the Okadas told Lanre, all right, little guy, we're coming to get you. Calm down. Stay on the line. And 40 Okadas jumped on their motorcycles and were going to look for Lanre. And all of a sudden, Lanre's phone just shut down. They tried calling it back.
Hi, you have reached Lanre. Please leave a message.
So the Okadas went to the so-called forest, and they did find 2 burned out cars. They said this gotta be the location. They parked their motorcycles and went down walking this narrow forest road. They said, everyone be quiet, because we could hear them. So they were walking quietly. And all of a sudden the guy in front would go like this. I think I hear something. And all of a sudden a guy would pop out of the forest and start firing at him. The guy in front said, everybody run back, run back. So all of them, they went out and they got on their motorcycles and they just went back to the place that they all gathered at. Time out. Like and subscribe. God bless you. Do me right. I wouldn't do you guys wrong, and you know it. Let's go back. Time back in. So the Okadas said, we just can't leave Lanre to die like that. We gotta save him. That's our man. So one Okada said, should we call the police? Another Okada said, nah, man, they're just gonna waste our time. Let's handle our business ourselves. So the Okadas went around and got 60 more Okadas from different locations. Now they were 100 men strong, and they got knives, bats, and guns, and they went back to the so-called forest. But this time, they weren't being quiet. They were yelling and screaming, we're ready, for anyone over there to hear them. So they kept on walking, but they couldn't find anyone. And finally, they would see a river. The Okadas would see a bridge by the river. So they went on that bridge and were crossing it. They saw 2 buildings on the other side, one small shack and a huge factory-like building with fence and barbed wire surrounding it. And as they were crossing the bridge, they would find Lon Ray's motorcycle tucked under the bridge. They said, Lon Ray gotta be in there. So they went down to the first small building, the shack. They opened it up. Nobody was there. But they found 100 of articles, or maybe 1,000 of articles, pieces of people's belongings. Shoes, glasses, you name it. It was in that shack. So they said, wow. And then they went to that building fence and were looking through. One of the Okadas had brought with them bolt cutters to use as a weapon. So they took those bolt cutters and they made a hole through the fence. And they would enter towards that building. They really couldn't see what was inside that building because the windows were high up. So they were looking for a way to get inside that building. They would find a way in back of the building.
Oh my God.
And they were entering the building, ready to fight. But as soon as they entered,
please help us. They will kill us.
When the Okadas entered that warehouse, they would see a cement slab 4 feet by 4 feet that was actually used to chop human body parts on. When they looked at the walls, they would see people chained up to the wall, ready to be used for parts.
They will kill us.
Let me tell you the situation in Nigeria. People in Nigeria believe in spells. And these spells are done by herbalists that require human body parts. These spells could be for like good wealth, health, joy, but they need human body parts to be done. So that factory was a moneymaker. According to the locals that lived near that warehouse, there was just one other way to get to that warehouse. An abandoned road that no one ever used, except a black Jeep with tinted windows all over, driven by a man who would go there many times a week at 8 p.m. to the warehouse and leave at 9:30 p.m. Each time it went there, you would hear screams. So the locals would go to the police and tell them the situation. The police tell them, nah, don't worry about it, it's nothing. So it just became part of life. Every time at 8 p.m., people heard screams and did nothing about it. The guy in the black Jeep, he was just a delivery man. He would go there at 8 p.m. and place his order. He would tell him, I need a leg, an arm, a penis. So they would grab someone from the wall that had that part, put him on the cement slab, chop his arm, keep him nice and fresh, still alive, on the wall for another day, another part.
Please help us.
Take another person, do the same exact thing. Once that guy got his order completed, he would tell him, thank you so much, see you another day, and he would leave. And for the people that they no longer could use for body parts,
help us.
It was
Please
just
help
bad
us.
news.
They will kill us.
They would take them out back where they had a makeshift guillotine, the thing that you chop people's head off on. And they had a huge crocodile that they fed real well, if you know what I mean. The Okadas went around and freed 23 people that were barely alive.
They will kill us.
But none of them was Lon Ray Sudoku. They searched everywhere, even body parts, but they couldn't find him. So they went to the people outside that they freed. You guys know where that underground cell is? They were like, oh, leave me alone. I can't talk, I don't know anything. They couldn't find that underground cell or Lon Ray Sudoku. When word got out that day of what the Okadas had found, the police went to that location, and the Okadas ran to the police and told them, please dig underground. Our friend Lon Ray Sudoku called us and he said he's underground. He hears people walking above him and he's trapped underground. But the police refused to dig underground and just demolished everything. The police would hang out there for a couple of days just to keep an eye on things and then just leave. But the Okadas weren't having that. They would go back there for weeks and dig all over for that cell. But they could never find that cell or their friend Lon Ray Sudoku. We don't know exactly how many people died there, but from the belongings that were found, we would say it's in the hundreds.
They will kill us.
For some reason, if you guys know what I mean, no one was ever held accountable
Help us.
for the
Please
atrocities
help us.
that took
They will
place
kill
at
us.
that warehouse. But when the Okadas were digging looking for that underground cell, they would see a suspicious man. They would go talk to him and search, and they would find many human tongues in his pocket and about a dozen SIM cards. They would kill him. One of the survivors that was chained up on that wall, an educated woman, would tell reporters how she was captured. She would tell them, I was just sitting outside my house and a van pulled up right in front of my house with professional looking men that looked like police officers. They came up to me and told me, you're under arrest. I had to believe them because they looked so professional. You would have believed them too, trust me. Anyway, as soon as I got into that van, I knew it was over because I knew they were not police officers. They took me and others to that shack and they held us at gunpoint and made us strip naked. And then they would take us and chain us up to the wall and start butchering and killing people.
Help us.
Hi, you have reached Lan Ray. Please leave a message.
I'm Ahmed Monsieur. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please comment your opinion on this story. And please, like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. I'm out of this joint.